All right, look, America wants to know about this Secret Service investigation. How is possible that this assassination attempt on Mr. Trump occurred? Let's get an update. We have the great New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, and we have Texas Congressman Pat Fallon. Pat, you're great, too, who's a member of the House Trump assassination attempt task force. Everybody on the Kudlow, anybody that comes on here has got to be great. It's fantastic. But in all seriousness, Pat, you're on the task force. Look, we started this conversation last night. I mean, this investigation may be going on, but it's off the front pages. Now, we're going to play the tape, this new tape from the local cops in a moment. But what is going on here, and my direct question to you, Pat, is how can the government, how can the task force allow those Secret Service members to still be in the field until and unless we come to the bottom of this investigation and what went wrong? And I don't mean to demean everyone in the service. That is not my intent. But when a catastrophe occurs, you got to do something about it. And I think they should be, giving evidence 24/7. They should not be in the field until this thing is figured out. What do you think?
Larry, I think you're making a lot of sense. And furthermore, the task force, our mission is to talk to every single law enforcement officer that was on site in Butler on the 13th of July. And I'm talking local, state, and federal. And we also need to let all of them know that if they need it, we'll give them whistleblower protection, because we have to find out what happened. Furthermore, with the Secret Service, you've got the folks that were responsible for the protectee that day, and then you've got the ones that were responsible for the perimeter. The folks that were responsible for the perimeter, that's very problematic. And also, we still don't know who approved the site plan. These are this and many more things we're going to find out.
Right.
We're going to go very granular at that level.
I think you have to. Claudia, kind of gets you in a second. Here's the new tape. We're just going to play this body cam footage. Here it comes.
I told them they need to post the guys over here. I told them that the Secret Service. I told them that Tuesday. I told them to post guys over here.
So, Claudia, I mean, in a sense, we knew this. Claudia, in a sense, we knew that the communication between the local cops and the service and I don't know where the FBI falls out, had broken down, and they weren't listening. And there's a whole lot of things here. But this, too, is part of my point. Americans are, I think, very angry at this. Whether you like Trump, vote for Trump, or not vote for Trump, this could be any president, for heaven's sakes. And we don't seem to be getting to the bottom of it, or at least we don't seem to know how these investigations are coming. And it looks like some of these service people are in the field. And I think that's a big mistake.
Well, Larry, I agree with you. I think they should be put on administrative leave, especially pending the investigation by the committee that my colleague Pat serves on. Look, this is a really important point. We have, after 9/11, the 9/11 Commission came out with a report that said we need to work together. We need to have agencies of all levels, federal, local, state. Everyone needs to be on the same page. And that is not happening. And that's a failure. That's a breakdown in communication that nearly cost the life of a former president and could cost the life of a president or other VIPs that the Secret Service has under their protection. So these are really serious issues. And the same thing is happening when you look at the border. In New York State, they don't allow our federal agencies, our ICE directors, our ICE agencies, the Customs and Border Protection, to work with our local police to determine if we have criminals, criminal aliens, and people in the midst of New York State who, by the way, get a license and can go anywhere in the United States with this privilege. So we've got to work together. And that's what I think the key is to make sure all agencies are on board. And I'm sure that they're going to get down to this in the committee to make sure that they have a plan in place next time. Thank goodness we didn't have the tragedy that could have happened, although we had a young father who was killed needlessly, and this is also a tragedy.
Yes, of course it is. Pat Fallon, a friend of mine, Vietnam vet, I believe he was a Marine, served in combat conditions. He's asking me, how did this crazy, dumbass kid get the rifle up onto the roof? Has anyone answered that question? It strikes me as a good question. Have you heard that question? Has anyone answered that question? How did he get that rifle up there?
Larry, we have hundreds of questions to be asked. And listen, a 20-year-old loner with no training and a week's notice outsmarted and outmaneuvered the entire Secret Service. So from what we're told, and this is, Larry, most of what I know right now is from my personal contacts and whistleblowers that I know from the FBI and the Secret Service. We haven't, through official channels, gotten a lot of answers yet. But he pre-positioned the rifle, and it's not all that. He's only 20 years old. It's not that difficult a building to climb up if you use the air conditioning duct. So he probably climbed up there, threw the rifle up, and then climbed up. So it's amazing to me that they didn't secure that building, because when you look at a satellite image of the Butler Fairgrounds, that's the first building that you secure.
But it turns out, if news reports today, Fox News, this kid was taking target practice for quite some while.
Yep, and he had a rangefinder. Yeah, Larry, he also flew a drone, and the Secret Service didn't have anti-drone technology with them, and they didn't fly their own drones, which they should have.
Claudia, last 20, 30 seconds. You hinted at it earlier. Sanctuary cities. You know, Madam Vice President Harris, a strong supporter of sanctuary cities, and so is her running mate. Sanctuary cities, the death of us, because hiding these gangs and criminals and so forth behind closed doors, behind closed walls, and again, not cooperating with the local police. What you think? Last word.
Everything she's done is anti-police, defund the police. She helped get bail money for people who were burning down the city, all empowered by Governor Tim Walz. This is terrible. I mean, this is a terrible combination. It's deadly and dangerous for the United States if these two were to get elected. Let's hope people get smart and get out and pay attention and vote Trump, Vance.
All right. The great Claudia Tenney and the great Pat Fallon. Good luck on the investigations. Thank you both very, very much. All right, folks.